This is my trade review for the setups on May 22nd. First up here is Cara Therapeutics. Cara Therapeutics opened up in the range I was watching. Nice breakout on volume with a 5-minute gap up. Gave me a little bit more confidence to go ahead and jump in, take that position, ride it up as long as possible. Because of that gap, I was a little bit more, little more lenient on my trailing stop as it came up. Normally, I would close out for about that much of the gain right there. But I kind of expected it to at least test the VWAP at some point, and once it did and held, started making new highs, went ahead and just rode up the stop loss all the way. Once it couldn't hold above this previous peak right here and came back down below, that was my initial point to get out, and it was a red below red break. Could have tightened up a little bit more, but I got a little bit greedy. Next up here is the Dominion Energy. Dominion Energy got down and ran right up through my level, gave me a nice set up there with a tight stop below the second 5-minute candle there. Rode it up to the target that I actually had from my previous video, and it ended up being a really nice gain there. I didn't do anything on this initial pullback here. With this kind of a strong move, I expected at least to retrace some of it and find some support around the moving average of VWAP, and as it turns out, held very nicely. Next up here is FE, First Energy, another one that gapped down, ran up over my level. And as it came up on that opening candle, went ahead and took a breakout type of setup here because it was essentially a cup, and no handle, just a cup, and stop loss just below the level to indicate that it was an actual breakout. Rode it up, got out just after it broke down below this previous peak right here, and nothing else to do after that on this one today. Next up here is NI. This is NiSource Inc. This one did not come back all the way down into my support entry as I was looking for. So as I opened up the chart early in the morning, I noticed it was a kind of a cup and handle formation, and just went ahead and took a small position here on the potential breakout type of trade. Worked out fairly nicely and ended up flagging midday, and I'm not sure what it did after that. Next up here was Verizon. Verizon I was really hopeful for today. The daily candle setup was very nice. I got all these notes over here. You can't see much of the candle, but it was a very nice green hammer candle, not enough volume to really confirm the bullishness. Opened up on my 5-minute hammer, took a trade above, no follow through, came right back below my level and stopped me out for a small loss over here in trade 1. Second time I noticed it came down to this lower dip right here, and it was at this previous support level that I had mapped out, and got a green over green break off of an inside candle here on the 5-minute, triggered me into a position. Didn't quite take out at the previous highs. Kind of waited for it to see if it was going to hold over 45.5, which it did not. So overall, in and out a couple times for a small little profit on the overall day. XEL was the next one. It gapped down. Gave an opening 5-minute wick here. Went ahead and took a small position on that kind of setup, expecting some short covering to come in and push price up, as it did, and put in a high, started flagging, pulled back quite a bit more than I could have been. A little more patient. I think it actually bounced here and did run up a little bit higher, but overall it was a decent trade here. I had some good ones earlier. Next up here is XLU. XLU opened up at the support level, triggered me in at the previous price I had mentioned, and trailed it up all the way to my target at 52.5. This one doesn't move a whole lot back and forth, so I kind of expected it to be a little choppy on the way up, and throughout the day the VWAP continued its uptrend. As you can see, previous days, as long as it's trending up, that means there's at least somewhat of a trend to the price action. So overall, it turned out to be a nice day, and I did have a total of 8 trades counting to Verizon, but all of them ended up being winners today.